Hi, I'm Max Kaiser. This is the Kaiser Report. Welcome back. So, listen, I've got a fantastic guest, Trace Mayer. Trace Mayer, welcome back to the Kaiser Report.
Hey, glad to be here.
Okay. And now, Trace is extremely buoyant because he made some prognostications a while ago about the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and he's been proven absolutely correct. Last time Trace was on our show, we talked about the geopolitical significance of Bitcoin and crypto. And since that time, Trace, we've seen developments in Russia, Japan, and other countries. I think the Russian development is quite interesting. Vitalik over there at Ethereum, a face-to-face meeting with Vladimir Putin. This is kind of what we were talking about last time you were on Kaiser Report. What's your current thinking on this? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it across the globe. Bitcoin's being either legalized or there's bespoke legislation being passed to encourage it in pretty much every major country and lots of not so major countries. The Isle of Man has bespoke legislation specifically for Bitcoin and blockchain technology. Then we have legalization in Japan. We have Russia, the United States. We have a lot of our South American countries. China even has been fairly friendly in dealing with their exchanges there. So it's not being banned. Witches aren't being burned, which is, they're not going after, they're not putting Galileo under house arrest for doing math, and that's really what Bitcoin is. It's just math, right? So we're at least, we're seeing that there's this drive towards regeneration, deciding that we're going to accept and use and innovate and allow the fostering of this industry as opposed to all-out persecution of it.
All right. You tend to give folks the big picture. You're very well-read, very someone who's also involved in looking at the history of innovation and monetary theory and money. And this, as you point out, is math. And, going back centuries, innovation and technology has driven geopolitical development and tensions and resolutions. And I love the way you kind of encapsulate the history, a kind of a potted version of the past 500 years of history and innovation and monetary theory. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you can kind of walk us through again, how you see this playing out.
Yeah, so I mean, we had the move from the agricultural age to the industrial age. At the start of that, we had the invention of double entry bookkeeping. We had the rise of fiat currencies, fractional reserve banking. Isaac Newton and the other polymaths were definitely involved in all this. He invented the gold standard. Copernicus wrote treatises on interest. Manuel Swedenborg, the head of mining up in Sweden, the father of neuroscience, a great anatomist, he was adamantly opposed to fiat currency and in favor of gold and silver. We had the Continental Revolution, the French Revolution. We saw this, even something as small as the stirrup, that allowed knights to be on horses. It changed the battlefield of Europe. And then the longbow got invented that made knights obsolete. And then we had gunpowder and we had the printing press. And then we had Columbus, who discovered the trade winds, which allowed the build out of America. And so likewise, Satoshi with Bitcoin has discovered the trade winds of cyberspace. It's the holy grail that the cypherpunks have been after. And now that we're able to reduce data, reduce value into data itself and transfer it over a communications channel using our latest IT infrastructure, now we're going to be able to build out smart contracts. We're going to be able to build out cyberspace. It's going to be huge innovation. And at the heart of it, it's triple entry bookkeeping. Just like we had an accounting revolution at the start of the industrial age, we're having an accounting revolution at the start of the information age. And so things like derivatives and how we value all this stuff and fiat currency and fractional reserve banking and not having transparency and not having atomic swaps and like failure to delivers and all these problems with our financial system that require bailouts, like the sun's rising on all of that. And that stuff's going to have to just go away. It's just not going to be feasible anymore.
All right, let me just drill down to one phrase there, reduce value to data. Now, we're here at the Freedom Fest in Las Vegas, and I see a lot of gold bugs here, and the gold community is still, I would say, 80 or 90% anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto. They consider themselves to be the holy grail of value. Only they believe gold, that gold is the true arbiter of value. What's it going to take to convert the gold bugs? Do we just ignore the gold bugs? What do we do with the gold bugs? Trace Mayer.
You introduced me as perhaps the world's foremost expert on gold and Bitcoin. when we did that geopolitical podcast. I mean, my blog was Run to Gold, for crying out loud. I mean, I am a gold bug, and I've brought a lot of the gold bugs into Bitcoin. At the end of the day, we're dealing with a technological innovation here. Gold is the same thing it was 2,000 years ago. It's not extensible. Commodity money is great. It's limited in amount, but it's not extensible. Fiat currency is extensible. That's why we were able to transfer value over a wire telegraph, right? And that's where we got a wire transfer from. But guess what? Fiat currency is not limited in amount. Well, now with cryptocurrency, we have both the ability to make it limited in amount and to transfer it over a communications channel. And we have the extensibility. So we get the best of all of them and none of the problems.
But
with
it's kind
either
of
of
funny
them.
was last year, actually the supply of gold in the world through mining was up 6%. And the supply of Bitcoin, of course, has been reduced via the protocol.
Yeah.
So this idea that there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there is kind of bogus in that the protocol actually is designed to reduce the number. Of course,